Hello, I'm at Block Dojo in London to meet the latest group of entrepreneurs to complete this incubator program for startups that are building their businesses on the BSV blockchain. This week, I'll be finding out about new ideas to track the carbon emissions of ships, how to create payment apps more easily, and how to play Brazilian Jiu Jitsu online.
You're listening to CoinGeek Conversations with Charles Miller.
First, I met Robin Russell, whose experience in shipping and financial services led to the founding with two colleagues of Satva Trust, which aims to use blockchain and other technologies to make the emissions reporting of shipping more reliable.
We are bringing clarity and transparency to the emissions performance of the shipping industry. The shipping industry emits about 1 billion tons of carbon dioxide every year. It's about 3% of the world's total. The data that underpins that flow is currently pretty unreliable. And there are quite a few stakeholders in the financial services industry, for example, the lenders, the insurers who rely on that to make decisions about their business. And it's really a question of visibility.
Right. So what exactly is the market? Who will pay to know better what the emissions of shipping are?
There's actually two sides to that story. So there's one which is the lenders and the insurers. So they'll pay to know what it is that
because they want to know what the risk is that they're
exactly right. So the risk of being involved in a client that is heavily polluting or a good actor in that direction, but then also the risk from their perspective in terms of their carbon footprints. There's also a sideline there in terms of it's an indication of how the businesses run themselves, how well organized they are.
Which would also mean they were a better bet to insure if they were well organized.
Absolutely right. Less likely to get involved in activities that you wouldn't want to be involved in, and also to have trouble with the ships, staff training, all that sort of stuff. But then the other side of the equation is the ship owners themselves. So the ship owners that are well organized and well run would really like to showcase how well they're doing in that direction. And because the data is unreliable at the moment, they actually don't get to do that.
So how are you going to produce more reliable data than is around at the moment?
So the first step is to move away from the self-reported data that comes from the ship. So at the moment, all the data basically comes from the ship.
People can just say what they like about their own.
To some extent, they can say what they like. They have to work a little bit, but yes, they can essentially say what they like. They're in the middle of the Pacific. There's nobody watching. So it's a little bit unclear.
So how do we avoid that?
So it's really down to satellite data. So we take satellite data of various sorts, weather data, sea state, the details of the ship itself, the position, the speed, and put that through an AI model. And bring new perspectives. So
if you see that a ship is going at a certain speed in certain conditions and it's a certain kind of ship, you can sort of work out how much fuel it must be using.
Exactly right. So then that gives some various new perspectives that we can bring to the situation. We get to create industry benchmarks that we can benchmark that particular ship against. And depending on how the ship performs in emissions terms, that could actually lead to the creation of carbon credits. So this comes back to the ship owner and the fact that they then have new assets on their balance sheet that they can use, they can sell for offsetting, or they can use in the finance industry as a collateral.
It's an interesting, quite specialized idea. How did you come across this, and what were you doing before that made you interested in it?
Yeah. It's quite specialized. You're absolutely right. The first industry we're coming to is the shipping industry, but we'll go into others, aviation and motoring and even residential property over time. Where we came to this from was actually, I was talking to a friend of mine that has a carbon sequestration technology, which he's developed and is moving into the shipping industry. And this was earlier this year. I was on my way into a blockchain strategy program with the Oxford University Side Business School. and was looking for use cases to take into that program and talking to him about this. And it occurred to me, he has a particular problem with data and the recording of data, and it occurred to me that there was a far larger problem in the shipping industry in particular. So took that into the program. Karuthika and Layla were actually in the program as well. We happened to, these are my colleagues, the co-founders, absolutely co-founders, sorry. And we happened to come together and it gelled, and we all decided that there was something really interesting here. So after the program, we carried on.
It's interesting because you're on this Block Dojo incubator program here, which is 12 weeks of support and education in a way for getting your startup going. But I know that you also do executive coaching yourself. So, I mean, what's it like being on the other end of a kind of coaching in this program? Do you find yourself thinking, oh, I don't think they should have done it like that, we could have explained it better, or what?
I think that particular thing is part of the human condition. I think everybody comes to a situation and goes, interesting, with bits of it. It's a fantastic program. It's been very, very interesting. I've learned a lot. I have gained a lot from coaching myself over the years in various forms. So part of the reason why I'm an executive coach is because of the impact that it's had on me. So I always come to situations like this looking to see what I can learn, and I've had a fantastic time in the dojo here. The 12 weeks are very intense. I would say it feels intense when you start, and then it gets worse. So we're all a little bit exhausted at this point, but
and you're almost at the end now.
Absolutely right.
I want to ask you finally, Satva and Satva Trust. Where does that word come from?
So Satva is the middle of three energies that pervade the universe, according to the Vedic traditions. So you have the first, which is more of a sleepy sort of an energy. And then you have the third, which is more of an energetic, chaotic sort of an energy that sort of pulls at both edges of things. And Satva is the energy that's in the middle. So it's about awareness, it's about calmness, it's about being there and just seeing things as they are, which we thought was pretty appropriate for what we're doing.
I mean, I guess what you're doing is a business, but there's probably a bit of social and environmental sort of motivations behind you and your team as well, aren't there?
Yeah, there are definitely. We're all interested in sustainability. We're all concerned about the situation that we're in with the climate and all of that. And Layla has specialisms in the banking side of things on the sustainability side of it. So from a career perspective, but I think there's also something of the geek in each of us that just needs things to be as they are. And I think there's something about the unreliability of the data and the fact that people don't know what's going on. Everybody's tiptoeing around, sort of waiting for the landmine they're going to stand on. And it seems like a situation that needs to change. The technology exists now to make it change.
It's a problem waiting to be solved, really, isn't it?
We certainly think so.
Well, really good luck with it. And thank you very much for talking to me today, Robin.
Charles.
Thank you. My next guest, Priyatham Varma, is a former web developer and educator whose mission with his startup, Back3nd, is to help people without technical skills to make their own fintech products.
Back3nd is a no-code platform where anyone can easily build blockchain applications, especially for the fintech industry.
I don't know how to code. Would I be able to
Definitely.
build a fintech product?
That's the unique selling point for our product. There's no need for you to understand anything technical, and there is no need for you to be a coder, but you can still build on top of a backend.
So what kind of a product might I be able to build then?
So as I already told that we are mostly into the fintech industry, so you can create a bank, but that's our target, that's our roadmap. So initially you can create a payment gateway. So that's our first product. Then you can create a P2P lending platform. Then you can create analytics dashboard, all in the fintech industry. So the first point will be the payment gateway, and there we want to give you or enable anyone to build a bank kind of infrastructure.
Wow. So obviously I'm going to need to understand quite a lot about the money side of it anyway. But your customers are going to be people who know about finance but don't know about technology, I guess. Is that right?
I would say maybe not, because blockchain is an entirely new system and it is rewriting the entire finance industry. So there is no need for you to understand everything in finance. Of course, you need to understand the basic components, but You can be a new beginner in the space and still you can understand about DeFi. Because in DeFi, we have very low concepts or very less concepts compared to the traditional finance. So you can start early, you can be the newbie, but in 2 years' time, you will be an expert in blockchain space.
And will I be subscribing to backend? And when I've built my product, will I still be subscribing, or how does that work?
The thing is that we have 3 tiers. The first one is the freemium tier, and the second one is the Ninja plan, where you have to pay 10 pounds per month, and the other Samurai plan, which is 20 pounds per month. The thing is that if you don't want to subscribe to our whatever the service, you can still use the free end. But we will be taking a larger commission on every transaction that your users will be doing. But if you take the subscription, we will reduce the transaction cost, and also you can use many other features like analytics dashboard and many other features.
What were you doing before that brought you to this idea? And
Oh my God, I was doing many things actually. But I was a software developer for almost like a decade. I was into the software industry, DevOps, cloud infrastructure and everything. Then I thought, this is not the right way of doing the things, because there were many issues, many cloud issues and everything. To give you a very example, if you store something in the cloud, you need to pay for that every month. You just saved it once, but you need to pay that for every month. But what happened is that from 2018 to 2019, I saw blockchain as a new system to store data or to store value, where you just need to store once and there's no need for you paying every time. Then that was my interest point, where I thought, okay, this is something great. So I thought, okay, let's jump into blockchain. And also I done my master's in AI and data science. So I wanted to do more into blockchain and AI stuff. But at the moment, I'm doing more in the blockchain stuff.
And will you be using the Bitcoin BSV blockchain?
Definitely. I think that's a very huge market, because Bitcoin halving event will be happening in 2024. So I think more people will be coming into the Bitcoin ecosystem, which means that more people will be coming into BSV ecosystem as well, because BSV is one of the biggest Bitcoin ecosystems in the entire Bitcoin universe, I would say. So yeah.
But I'm guessing that if your customers don't need to know how to code, they won't really need to know a huge amount about Bitcoin SV or anything either, will
There
they?
is no need. I mean, we all use internet. How many of know the back end things of internet? We don't know. There's no need for you to know. Of course, if you want to know, yes, there are many education resources for that. But if you want to build a business, you can use backend for that, using any chain, mainly Bitcoin.
And what stage have you reached in developing the product then?
Me being a developer, I almost developed the product. It's a working product, and maybe if I was given like 2 months time only on the development, I can build it myself. But I'm raising money to build that with, professional experts and everything. So yeah.
And then how will you go about getting your first customers? Who do you think they will be?
Interestingly, I already have 57 people who are already whitelisted into my platform. The first customers are entrepreneurs or innovators who want to build something on top of our platform. I'll tell you a very interesting story. I'm into the blockchain ecosystem since 2018. As I'm speaking with many people, doctors and business people, traders, shipping people, everyone, they want to build something on top of blockchain. But most of them can't, because of the technical reasons or whatever the coding skills that they don't have. Then I thought, okay, let's build a tool for people like this. And that 60% of the entire blockchain ecosystem consists of people like, no coders, but still they want to build something on top of it.
So you're pretty confident that there's a
Definitely.
big market out there.
Very big market, larger than what we are thinking, because we do not have an exact data, because it's a new market, but I think it's more than what we are expecting.
Well, it sounds like a great project. I wish you lots of luck with it.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Finally, I met Luiz Adler, an environmental engineer, game designer, and the founder of an online game of Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. His business has been running for 6 years, but he's using Block Dojo to take it to the next level.
Smash Mountain Studio. We are a game development company that we've started with martial arts streamline by building the first Brazilian Jiu Jitsu game in the world. So the community is there, is underserved, and we've seen this opportunity. And then we saw our way in the multi-billion-dollar gaming market with.
Right. So you're kind of unusual on the Block Dojo program in that you have a business already underway. Is that right? I mean,
Yeah.
It's been running for a few years.
Yeah.
And what has it consisted of up till now?
Well, we were testing these because Jiu-Jitsu is a grappling martial art, right? So the normal game mechanics with button bashing way, like combinations and etc., doesn't apply much to Jiu-Jitsu. So we had to figure a way to represent this amazing martial art in what it actually is, because Jiu-Jitsu is a human chess, right? So it's about strategy, not just, let's go there, let's punch. There's no punching at all. And then you need to kind of see how you save your fatigue, your stamina, and what your opponent will be doing. So there's a lot of strategy.
So now, are you a Jiu-Jitsu expert yourself?
Yes, I'm a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu black belt.
And that was the inspiration for all this?
Yes, how I saw the opportunity. Yeah. And then that's why we came up with this unique game concept, totally different with what we have back out there in the gaming space. But since it's really original and different, we need to test. So we've been testing a lot.
From a sort of physical type representation in the game into a more intellectual, strategic one.
Yes, and also in a way that you can learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu by playing. And the sports rules, all that, the points, everything is there. And you can actually visualize. We had feedback from players saying that they use the game before their championship, before they go there and etc. Use it instead of spending my time playing shooting games or other things. I'm actually passing my time constructively.
And do you think the game appeals to people who don't already know Jiu-Jitsu in some way?
Yes. At the moment, the version as it is today is more for those that really want to understand more. So we need to improve onboarding for those that are, okay, let's just try it out. But with the next version, we pretend that's Portuguese, sorry, we plan to make in a way they will understand and make have fun. So it's a card game, right? So they don't need to know the Jiu-Jitsu to play it. They can still find it fun with the mechanics, with a better onboarding.
So what has the business model been so far, and how will that change with the new version?
So it's mainly a free-to-play game, right? So a percentage of players will spend, let's say, from $2 to over $10,000 with in-app purchases.
But is it a console game or a phone game?
Mobile first, yeah, mobile, and then we'll go for PC as well. Console, we'll see if it makes sense going for console.
Right. So at the moment, it's a free-to-play game on your phone.
Yes.
And so how does that make money?
With these in-app purchases, for instance. So basically, there's an in-game economy where, let's say, players can play the whole game for free if they wish to, right? If they don't want to spend, they can. We offer rewards, in-game rewards, if they see video ads. So they are playing for free, but at some point, okay, I want to have this reward. I want to have this extra coin or whatever, so I can speed up my progression. But many other players, they say, okay, I want to speed up my progression. I want to save time, and then I'll spend real money to acquire soft currency, let's say gold, inside the game, and they can spend this with cosmetics, such as clothes for avatars, animations, and all that, so status.
So basically, they're sending you money for things that cost you nothing to give them, right?
It's for them to progress more. Like the exchange here is money for time, basically. And is that profitable? Is that a profitable thing? Yes, definitely. There are games out there making $1 million a day.
But what about yours?
For us, for now, we are not actually looking much to revenue because we are still tweaking retention. Still getting loads of feedback from players and see what we need to change in order to improve our retention, to make them happy, and then also to look to the long term, not just the short term. The more they stay engaged in the game, the more we will make revenue.
But why did you want to come on the Block Dojo program then if you already had an established business?
Because we want to get the game to the Web3 world, because that's the future. And what we want to do is we want to use a Web3 layer, like a cherry on top of the cake. So the cake is the free-to-play model, but there's the cherry, which is the Web3 layer with blockchain technology.
And what will be the advantage of that for the customers?
Okay, so in an easy way, not to get too long answer, is we want to give players ownership of in-game assets and their progression. So for instance, they will be able to cash back the time spent on the game. So if they spend like money to speed up their progression and all that, so let's say after 3 years, okay, I had enough of this game, I want to do something else, and etc. They will be able to, I'm going to sell my avatar with all the progression because it's mine. I can sell it to someone else, and blockchain technology make this really easier than previous.
So it creates a marketplace between the players.
Yes, and all the other things that we want to also explore with that.
Right. Well, how's it been on the program? I mean, how much progress have you made during these weeks?
Well, it was amazing. It's above my expectations, to be honest, because it took me out of my comfort zone, and it made me rethink many things and actually be better prepared to be out there asking for investors to help us in our journey. And now that next week will be the last one, right? I feel much more prepared to have these kind of conversations with a better deck, with a better storytelling, which was one of my weaknesses. I feel much more prepared and confident to go forward after the program.
Have you had a chance to practice jiu-jitsu at all during the program?
Well, I did go maybe like 5 to 6 times in the Roger Gracie Academy nearby in Farringdon at 7 o'clock in the morning, Tuesdays, Thursdays.
Is it good for your day's work when you've done that beforehand?
Definitely, and I'm a totally different person when I am practicing and when I'm not, and it helps a lot. So I kind of encourage everyone should be doing Brazilian Jiu Jitsu because it's amazing. It's good for your health. It's good for your mind and also networking.
If I'm going to choose between doing Jiu Jitsu and playing the game, which would you advise me to do?
Do both. You can do both, but if you don't want to, have a little bit of risk to get hurt or you don't like much contact, so then go and play the game.
Well, really good luck with it, and thank you so much
Thank you very
for
much.
talking to me about it.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks very much to all my guests on this show and on the previous 2 shows from Block Dojo, and the best of luck to all of them with their exciting and convincing business plans. Next week, I'll be finding out about a banking app for Africa called VPD Money from its founder, Michael Simeon. So please join me, Charles Miller, for that. But until then, thanks for listening and goodbye.
Hey everybody, I'm Kurt Wooker Jr. Join us live on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where you can ask me questions, comments, blessings, cursings, gripes, or gropes. You can catch us live across CoinGeek's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and probably a whole bunch of other places too.
I think the big thing here, the big innovation, is the ordinals numbering system.
So utility is driven by this whole idea of springboarding us in terms of innovation by using micropayments and unlocking all these different new ways of doing things.
Decentralization, the meme, as people think of it, I don't think exists at all, anywhere.
Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin wallet, blockchain, stablecoins, MetaNet, the evolution of money. Everybody is talking about Bitcoin today, but what exactly is it? Learn the basics from experts. Learn what Bitcoin is, how it works, and why it matters. Blockchain 101, your ultimate guide to the fundamentals of blockchain.